In Apple Music, you can favorite an artist. Tap the star icon and it fills in. Tap it again and empties. That's it. So why does Apple need so many different icons to express this one state? On the artist page, there's a star in the top right corner. When the artist isn't favorited, the star is empty. When they are, it's filled. This is on or off. Apple's own guidelines state if you want to avoid listing a separate menu item for each state, you can be efficient to create a single toggle item that communicates the current state and lets people change it. Next to the star is a button with 3 dots. Inside is a star icon, again for the same action, except here the icon is always filled. Favorite or not, the icon is filled. And to unfavorite, the icon has a slash. Apple's own guidelines for menus say a menu reveals its option when people interact with it, making it a space-efficient way to present commands. So now, the symbol means two different things, depending on where you look. On the separate button, filled means become favorite. In the menu, filled means become favorite. And filled with a slash means become unfavorite. And this isn't just for an artist. Favoriting songs behaves in the same way. To add more to this confusion, Apple Music shows a message near the tab bar. When you favorite someone, it says favorited with a filled star, fine. But when you unfavorite someone, it says unfavorited with an empty star that is a slash. Another icon added to represent unfavorited state. The next thing is not technically in Apple Music, but it is Apple Music. When you hold long enough on the Apple Music icon on the home screen, you open up a home screen quick actions. One of the items there is to play favorite songs, and the icon is empty, even though it represents songs that have filled star icons. The separate button shows what is the state right now. The message shows what is the state right now. The message shows the same information as the separate button, but it is shown temporarily and with a text. Apple Podcasts has a feature to save a specific episode, and to remove the save in the menu, it uses empty icon with a slash. It is even a separate button for the save action that works the same way as in Apple Music. No fill icons in the menu, only filled icon in the separate button. On Apple Watch, there is no separate button for favorite. You have to go to the menu, and the icon is never filled in the menu. It is filled only in the message after a favorite. In the menu, empty star to favorite, empty star with a slash to unfavorite. macOS has the same icons in the menu, just as watchOS, but it has a separate button that behaves the same as iOS. It doesn't have a message dialog. tvOS, the artist page works the same way as watchOS or macOS, but to favorite a song, it works differently. The favorite item is not in the menu. That sits right next to the favorite button. This is more space efficient, especially because on tvOS, unlike Touch, where you can tap anything directly, on Apple TV, you have less control and have to move one by one in the menu. From what I can see, is that Apple thinking behind this is that they want the unfavorited state to be represented by an empty star with a slash all the time. But because the star is mostly visible on the separate button, they didn't want to show the slash all the time. It would be too much intruding. It adds visual noise without adding information. But that's the reason why we see it only temporarily in the message bar or the menu. The reason the menu shows the star always filled is because across many apps in iOS, the first row of actions is filled. Here, look at this. This is Apple Notes menu. Look at the pin icon. It is filled, and it is on the first row. And here, the pin icon is not filled, and it is not on the first row. And back in Apple Music, the share icon is filled too. So Apple made this decision to fill the icons on the top row and did not realize that some features use both icons, filled and empty. In my opinion, drop the slash and just show the resulting state. To favorite, show a filled star. To unfavorite, show an empty star. If you tap this, the icon will look like this, and the user already knows the difference between filled and empty style. I would ask myself if we even need to put the same action again in the menu. I think that the separate button is already enough. It shows the information and the user can change it, just like TV always does it for favoriting songs. By the way, a thing I didn't speak about is that Apple Music calls the action to unfavorite, undo favorite. I'm gonna make another video about this specific thing.